Hello, everyone, and welcome to a shoujo podcast bonus episode where instead of the usual process where Sarah shows me some shoujo anime, we do something else. This time, we have actually read another manga. This is our second manga read-through of a show that we've covered, the other one being Angelic Layer. And this time, we read through all of the Revolutionary Girl Utena manga, which includes these two omnibuses that got released. And then I also read the After Revolution 20th anniversary manga that was written in, 2017? So we're going to be covering all that in this episode. So
exciting stuff.
Get ready to hear about that stuff. Sarah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. We just recorded our first episode on Fushigi Yugi, so I'm all jazzed up from that because I love that series. I, in typical Sarah fashion, read these for recording today, like a couple hours prior. That way it's fresh on the mind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yep. And to make it in time, Joe's not gonna like hearing this, but like I did not read the side story chapters.
You didn't read the side story chapters? Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes.
Alright, well, I'm gonna have some stuff to talk about and you're just gonna have to react to it.
I skimmed through it and I was like, okay, these is like a lot of what the zany filler episodes are based off these side stories I see. It's okay, everyone. I'm used to disappointing Joe. This is just part of our friendship dynamic.
Oh boy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of us takes the podcast seriously, I guess.
It's not me.
All right. So, anyway, like 2 months ago, a month ago, we went on
it's definitely been
Manga
longer
Talk
than a
podcast. Some time in the past, we went on the Manga Talk podcast, that is Manga Talk TAK, to talk about the first volume of the Utena manga. We have a good long discussion about that there, so we're not going to cover that part because we already talked about that at length. So if you're like listening to this and being like, how come they're skipping over the like oddly placed prologue, it's because we already talked about it for like 2 hours. So we're going to be skipping that part. Instead, we're going to basically cover from volume 1. I mean, I'll recap it briefly what happens in volume 1. It's not anything super special. And then we're kind of going on there to the end of... Where does it end? It's weird because the second omnibus has like also an entire run of the Adolescence of Utena in manga form also. So we're going to be covering all that. So did that
release at a significantly later date?
No.
Okay, so this so like when it originally concluded, it was in there.
Yeah, so the initial, not quite, because I think the show had ended by. Let me look at the dates. I got to get the dates of everything. So, okay, the manga starts in 96 and runs through 98, March of 98. The TV show starts April 2nd, 97, and runs through December 24th, 97. So the manga surrounds the anime. The anime starts and finishes while the manga is going through. And then the Adolescence of Utena movie comes out in August of 99, whereas the manga run starts in May and ends in September.
Okay, and these are like not based off each other, or do we think they had access to the manga format of it and then they pulled the visuals from that for the movie?
Oh, well, they made them concurrently. Like, we know they did it concurrently, right? Like, she did the so the manga is written by Chiho Saito, who did the character design for all of this stuff, and did some initial stuff here. But like, you can definitely see, like, they must have been working on, the Adolescence of Utena for like years before, right? Because it takes a long time to make a movie. And if you look at the like aesthetics and like the backgrounds and things like that, it's all the same. So they definitely had all that ironed out together. They did all that kind of in concert. They don't follow the same path.
No, guess, it's stupid ass cars. Ahead,
there's no cool car chase scene at the end of the Adolescence of Utena manga.
Good.
I am sad to say. Oh, no, Sarah's happy about it. Okay.
Not normal.
Yeah, so this all kind of happened at the same time, basically, is the thing to remember, which is interesting because they're not similar. They do different things, and sometimes they do very significantly different things, which is interesting, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then there's the After Revolution manga, which is 20 years later. So we'll talk about that at the end.
Sweet.
All right. So we start off with a prologue. The biggest thing here is that, like, Utena almost drowns and gets saved. That's a motif that's going to show up a lot of times. We're going to see it like 3 more times or like 4 more times throughout all of these stories. And in these side stories, which you didn't read. So that's what's going on there. She goes to Otori Academy. It's like a, academy for fancy lads and ladies. She goes there to meet her prince, whose name she doesn't know. Instead, she runs into the student council. She gets involved in these duels where you have to duel another person on the student council in order to win the hand of Anthe, a kind of mysterious girl who calls herself the Rose Bride, who becomes betrothed to whoever the winner of the duels is. This is not the reason why Utena starts this duel. She kind of gets into it by accident, and then by winning the duel, which she kind of does unexpectedly against Saionji, our first terrible boy, she becomes engaged to Anthe and just kind of rolls with it. All right, so I'm going to pop us into... Where does Volume 2 start? They go to the dance.
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, Toga Kiryu, who's the student council president, and has kind of awful vibes, but not as bad of vibes as the anime.
Absolutely, yeah. He's much more
but is also, like, kissing her.
Yeah, against her will. That happened several times.
That happens several. She's not really ever too mad about it.
No, she should be more mad.
Which maybe she should be. Mm-hmm. And so he has coaxed her into coming to a dance that he's throwing by getting her a dress. And the only reason she's going is that so Anthe, who has no friends, can go. Because she's like, Anthe, you should go and make some friends. And Saionji has...
Utena in my life to help me make friends.
But I feel like you're good now. I feel like you needed that, like...
I'm good at socializing with strangers. It's like forging friendships and like continuing to see the same people is what I'm struggling more with. It's so much work to sustain. Anyways.
Yeah, so we meet the rest of the student council. We meet Mickey and Juri, or the other two. And I'm going to have a lot more things to say about them later.
Oh, yeah.
And then Saionji gets mad at her and attacks her in an elevator, and that's kind of where we leave off at the end of Volume 1. Mm-hmm. Do you have any other like new thoughts about Volume 1, or do you just want to roll into the next stuff?
No, I think we're good to keep going.
All right.
To plan.
Volume 2. Volume 2. Juri's here, and she's mad that there's another girl in the story. She's like, you're spending all your time with the guy I have a crush on. The guy, _ the guy I have a crush on.
Yuri,
Kiryu Toga.
Ew.
This hit me like a brick.
I know. Juri's like your favorite
this
character.
Can't be happening.
I mean, she does have a badass nickname of like, what is it, like beautiful jaguar son. She got like a cool name for fencing.
They do give her a cool name. They give her a cool name. She looks good because everybody in the characters look great in this. The backgrounds look kind of fun too. Mm-hmm. It looks really nice. I think the manga looks really nice. I think especially when we get to the Adolescence of Utena, that looks incredible.
I do like in manga, like everything is more. I mean, it's obviously like if there's blood, it's much more like starkly contrasted because it's dark versus most of the lighter coloring. But I feel like in anime, they always just cut the blood out, like to minimize. I don't know the television broadcasting rules, whatever. But like, oh, he got stabbed, but he's not bleeding, kind of thing. So it's always nice to see. Give us more blood.
Like at this point in her career, Saito is like pretty established and is good at this, and you can see that in this because like the paneling is really interesting. They're doing all sorts of different stuff. Putting things in the background, doing like lots of dramatic stuff. Like it's very well constructed, is what I'll say. Why did they make Juri straight? They made Juri straight. And this feels like a crime to me. This is making me the Joker. And not only is she straight, it's like a 1-2 punch. It's like they made Juri straight and she's into Toga, the guy with the worst vibes. I'm like, bro, you cannot be doing this to me right now.
Well,
the answer is yes.
Yeah, we really don't get I feel like we get the most out of Toga. Yeah, Toga and Miki, I feel like, are the only ones we get anything substantial out of, but that's only because they're both into Utena. Yes. And then I feel like Saionji and Juri, or not Juri, damn it,
not Juri.
Just straight Juri are very much not, we don't get any depth from them really. And it's annoying that like only if you interact with our main girl do you get any kind of thought put into you.
Yeah, she's really just kind of slotting into like the mean girl archetype type of thing, right? Like the rival mean girl who's like, oh, you're into the guy I'm into, so I'm going to be really mean to you, even though like Utena really isn't even that into Toga now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's still some good scenes. I mean, there's still some good stuff in there. Like visually, there's a lot of putting people into a lot of different outfits. Like there's a part where Utena's playing baseball and wears a baseball outfit.
Yes. Yep.
And stuff like that. And she like stabs a baseball with her saber.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yep. Catch it on the end of her. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, there's some pretty good scenes still, but yeah, pretty brutal going on here.
Yeah.
This doesn't really amount to much other than like, ooh, is Toga gonna be... He like brings her to the... So Toga is like a love interest kind of thing here, even though he's already kissed her without her consent. He like brings her to the castle in the sky. We get some explanations for some stuff.
Well, because this happens like really early. This happens
really early.
Is at the end of the anime. Yeah.
Yeah, this happens before the Juri duel. Because it's when they're there that Juri shows up and is like, I'm challenging you to a duel.
Mm-hmm.
The duel happens right there. This is the first time Utena changes to her prince outfit, and it looks cute.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. She draws the sword from Anthe for the first time, and like, I mean, one of the things is a little bit different, and I kind of mentioned this in the manga talk thing, but it's like, in this we get a lot more interiority of the characters. So we get stuff Utena being like, oh, he said a thing when he pulled the sword out last time. What's the thing he said? I think it was this. Whereas in the anime, she just kind of like is able to do it. Like it imbues something in you that you just know what the process is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's more mysterious. Meanwhile, Juri just kisses her sword. Very funny.
Okay, well, it's like she gets... Yeah, I guess that's all. It's not like there's anything magical going on there, but...
No.
She looks good doing it. I'll say that.
She looks good. I mean, I can't, who can say you're wrong? Yeah.
The hair is so good in this, because, like...
It is.
Her hair is moving in a way that makes sense for these thick curls to be separated, and just... Everybody's... I mean, Mickey just has bad hair. It's unfortunate because everyone else has like really good hair, and I'm not into Mickey's hair. But
I don't feel like the short hair is drawn super well.
No, so everybody's got dramatic long hair.
Yeah. Yeah, she fuses with the prince for the first time, or maybe the second time. I don't know. That's a pretty cool scene because it's like fading into her kind of stuff.
Yes,
that's pretty sick. It gives her a power-up so she can see all of Juri's moves and just one-shots her.
Mm-hmm. See, I like where it's like we're getting to see the difference between, or, like her experience as experiencing all of this and not knowing, but then we get to see the like effect of Dios.
I mean, this is kind of one of the main differences with the manga, like broadly, right? Which is the manga is much more interested in explaining what's going on in literal terms.
I like that.
To the anime, which is much more like the vibe of the thing or the feeling of the thing. I don't feel like that adds any mystery, and I like the mystery aspect, so I don't like it as much, but you do.
Like, some of us are idiots and we need this, and I am grateful for this.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Juri part. That's pretty much what we get from Juri in the soul story, honestly.
Yeah.
is like she challenges to a duel because she's like, oh, I'm better than you. I'm the love rival. Blah blah blah. And then she loses, and then she kind of doesn't do as much stuff later on. She gets some side stories, which we'll talk about, but that's pretty much it for Juri.
For sure.
Brutal. I understand that they're not the same character. I know that this is like a different version of the character, and I shouldn't just be comparing the two. But man, straight Juri sucks.
Yeah, she does. No need to get all hot and bothered over Toga, that's for sure.
And she's like being kind of like can't accept her own loss. She's like about to challenge her to another duel, and they're like, "Oh, it's disgraceful if you do that." Ugh.
Yeah. We then open on like her doing archery, and she has the cutest little like lacy glove. I love it.
More outfits.
Because more outfits. But I feel like because what was the original volume count for Utena? Like how many volumes are there?
Good question.
So
7?
I feel like 7. Okay, so that's not that long. So I feel like
there's 5. There's 5 in this. So in this part, there's 5. Adolescence had 2. No.
Okay.
Adolescence had 1, and After Revolution had 1. So there's 5.
Okay. Because I feel like I guess that's not too long. Series that are longer, it seems like I would get old drawing the same character the same way over and over again. Instead, like giving them new outfits is like a different way to play with different things. But they never do anything with her hair. Like she's doing archery. I feel like her hair should be up in a ponytail, and I'd like to see that. Nobody changes the hair. I guess it's like so it's consistent with the anime where it stays the same. That way they're recognizable across the board. Obviously in Adolescence, she's got the short hair, but
yeah.
And I guess Anthe hair is the only one with hair doing anything different.
Yeah, that one like it means different things when her hair is up and down. You know, like in a storytelling perspective. So
yeah, that
makes sense.
Wakaba is just annoying in this.
Wakaba, yeah, she isn't as fun. She doesn't get as many like. The problem is that they, because this is only 5 volumes, nobody gets very much time to breathe.
Nope.
Which means some characters just exist.
Go.
Yeah. Which is a bummer because they don't give you time to like the characters. So Wakaba's just kind of here.
Yeah. And speaking of just zooming through, we've got Mickey next.
Then we hit Mickey's arc. So now we're dealing with Mickey. So Mickey's deal is that he doesn't really want a duel. He just wants to be friends. Also, he has a crush on Utena. Not Anthe this time.
Like
Anthe really takes a background to the student council stuff. Like, she's really not involved.
Nope.
Unlike in the anime where she is like...
At least they're not actively mean to her like they were in the anime.
They were really mean to her. They were really dismissive of her, but she was also actively goading them on in various ways.
That's true.
That's not really happening here.
Yeah, so it did feel like we got to see some personality from her in that way versus just not seeing her at all really in this.
Yeah, well, it also makes, like, later on when we get to, like, oh, you betrayed me kind of stuff going on. Like, I don't know, did she? Like, would she really do? Anyway, Mickey wants to, instead of dueling Utena, he wants to go to Toga's house because he knows stuff about End of the World. We've already had End of the World as a name drop earlier. I was like the person facilitating all this stuff. So there's that's kind of the big mystery going on in the background is who is End of the World. So they're going to break into Toga's house while he's away because he got injured. So I guess what it'd say, like at the party when like Saionji attacks Utena, he like gets in the way to like save her and gets injured. So that's why he's been injured and not doing as much in the last couple stuff. And that's part of the reason why like Juri was like, oh, you keep visiting him in the hospital. You must really have something for him. And she's like, I'm just visiting him in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they're going to go to his house. They're going to break into his house while he's away. So they do that. Very funny scene here where...
Oh, yeah.
Utena's gonna break into the house by like climbing to the second story window or something, and Mickey's just like, "Oh, I have a key. I just took the key from his locker. We can just walk."
I know, and then she does the whole like kick the rock, like, "Oh, phooey, you ruined my fun."
She really was gonna enjoy breaking it in, which is very funny. So they go explore around some stuff. We get an image of Nanami of like, oh, Toga has a sister. We don't ever see her in this, really. But we know he has a sister, which really just exists to bring up to the fact that Mickey has a sister that he's twins with. Because that's his deal. He's twins. Also, he likes her. I'm sorry, he likes Utena, and that's also a thing that's happening. Is he's like developing a crush on her as they snoop around. Anyway, they find a secret passageway, and run into like a weird zodiac calendar room.
I thought this was cool. I like
this. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there's like a zodiac symbol pointing to like the rose seal. They're like, oh, it's a calendar. Oh, what's going on? Oh, it's the schedules of all the duels. So like even the duels that we already like, it's the two duels you had, and there's also duels that haven't happened yet. It says you and I are gonna duel Utena, and that like freaks Mickey out. And he's like, but I'm not gonna duel you. And then Toga shows up, and he's like, you will duel Utena, Mickey. You have to. It's on the calendar.
Toga's wearing a shirt that just says "The Wonderful Wizard of Oz."
He's wearing a Wizard of Oz shirt, which is great. Love that. Love to be like, oh, who's the man behind the curtain? Toga announces that they're gonna duel, even though they're like, we don't want to duel. And Toga's like, oh, but are you sure? Don't you have feelings for Utena? Don't you want to win this duel to prove how cool and manly you are? You gotta do it. And Mickey's like, no, I think we should get rid of the student council. I don't like the fact that we do duels or anything. So then Toga slaps him.
Damn.
And is like, oh, you can't protect Utena. You're naive to protect. You think you could protect her by not dueling her.
Mm-hmm. I really like the tall Linky. I just like the proportions, and just everyone looks so cool. Like Toga's actually attractive in this versus the anime where he's just like, oh.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, in the scene, what he's doing is he's shoving Mickey into another room so he can lock himself in a room with Utena to do something. And Utena's like, oh, is he going to force himself on me again?
Yep, that's history.
And then Kozue shows up to confront Mickey, because why not? And we get our first little side cut where we get information about Choo Choo.
Oh, yes.
Interspersed.
Yeah, these are always fun. I really like these when they have like the little character profiles on the little side panels. I think
we
I
learned
like
that he's 10 centimeters tall. He's between 10 and 50 centimeters tall.
I like him in the anime more than his form here.
Yeah, he's a little weird looking.
Although I feel like the hoop and then the hoop of freaking, why am I spacing on his name right now? Brother guy, Akio.
Oh yeah,
like,
Akio.
oh, is it like a little Akio spy or something? But no, he's not. But he's got like the same earring as him.
So I was going through this pretty granularly because I thought we were going to get a certain reveal, but it turns out that reveal doesn't happen later. So I'm going to move a little faster.
Okay.
I thought this is where we get the explanation for what the Sword of Dios does, but that happens later.
Okay, let's truck along.
Okay. Anyway, basically what happens for the Mickey arc is like, oh, Mickey has a sister Kozue who's very protective of him and doesn't like that he likes Utena.
You know what I don't like? That he kisses her when she's sleeping.
Yep, so Utena sucks at math. So then Mickey is like, hey, I'll help you study math. And then Kozue is like, hey, you can come to our place so I can watch you two and keep an eye on you. So they go and study math together, and Utena gets tired from studying math because they've been doing it for 2 hours. And Kozue leaves to get tea, and while Kozue leaves and Utena falls asleep immediately, Mickey decides to plant one on her while she's sleeping. Can we put the non-consensual kiss count to 2? For Utena.
It's off the charts. It's crazy.
The only person who reacts normally to this is Kozue, who drops the tea. And is like, this sucks, although she's mad because she's jealous and not because her brother just did that. And she starts getting hysterical.
Freaking Toga isn't boning the child.
That's true. That's not happening. Yeah. She starts to yell at Utena for, I don't know, being a seductress, and then Mickey slaps her. And then admits that he kissed her while she was asleep. And Utena's like, what do you mean you kissed me while she was asleep? While I was asleep? And Kozue gets mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he apologizes. And he's like, sorry, I kissed you when you were sleeping. And she's like, that's not the problem. Because Utena, girl, you gotta be better about this. She's like, you shouldn't yell at your sister. Insane. Anyway, Kozue goes out to cry. She doesn't come back for a long time. And then Mickey gets a mysterious letter that says, you gotta duel Utena or your sister's gonna... I'm not gonna give you your sister back. So they get lured into a duel because somebody kidnaps Kozue and forces them to do this duel. I don't find this very compelling of a reason for them to be dueling at all. How do you feel, Sarah? I say to the empty chair I'm looking at because you have stood up to leave.
I had to get some water.
Yeah, get some water. Instead, I will talk about the Utena character profile, where we learn things like she's 14 and her sign is a Capricorn, and she's born on December 29th, which is almost the last day of the year.
What's your sign?
Cancer.
Ew, I'm a Leo.
We also get the first cutaway to like a little Saito comic talking about the creation of Utena.
Mm-hmm.
These are always very funny because it makes it seem like she's extremely overworked and everybody just ignores her.
Probably.
Maybe. Who knows?
She can her cry for help.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we feel about the Mickey stuff about like, oh, you got to duel me because I kidnapped your sister and Toga's forcing you to duel because your sister got kidnapped, as opposed to like an actual reason why he would want to do that.
Yeah, the motivation and the build up it pales in comparison to the anime for sure. But I feel like there's just no time to build it, so this is like an easy enough to follow motivation, I guess.
Yeah, we're just kind of forcing her into the calendar, right? Because like they're like, all right, we'll duel, and Utena's first like, it's fine, I'll just throw the duel, who cares? And then Anthe is like, oh, but if you throw the duel, I'll become Mickey's bride, and that's bad. And she's like, oh, maybe that would be bad. And then they just have the duel. But there are some cool visual stuff.
Yeah.
Like the page after we get the Utena profile, there's like one where it's like Anthe kind of merged on top of the dueling arena. That looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Like we get some really good backgrounds and stuff. There's one where like Utena flips her hair and there's like a million roses.
Yeah. Very cool stuff.
So looks cool.
Style.
The dueling arena kind of blows up and like starts floating in the air, and we see Kozue in a glass box.
Mm-hmm.
That all looks great. This duel is boring. I mean, the duel's whatever. Who cares? They're both fighting.
And Mickey's boring.
Mickey's like whatever. He loses. He wants to win to save his sister. Utena wants to win so she can help out Anthe. She merges with the prince again. Slash pow. She wins.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of, at this point, Toga's been here being like, yes, you need to do these things. Ha 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 ha. This is the plan. You have to do this. But we're like not that mad about him.
Yeah.
We're like not really reacting to Toga being a mastermind and like helping like kidnap somebody.
Yeah.
And being like, ooh, you must duel. Because the next section is the part where we're doing stuff with Toga, which kind of goes the same way as it does in the anime, where he's like kind of seducing her a little bit, being like, ooh, I'm kind of your prince.
Yep.
So that's a little weird. I mean, we get some stuff in between with Anthe, because we get the part where Anthe is going away at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we get little jokes about her making outfits for Choo-Choo. Choo-Choo. Just cute.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthe won't answer questions, and Utena's all mad about it.
And she gets some postcards
from her prince.
She's just thinking about it. She's not particularly
She's just thinking
mad.
About it. So she's still trying to figure out who her prince is. She keeps getting hints that it's Toga because he's setting up hints that it's Toga. Because he's like, ooh, meet your prince in the garden. And then Toga's in the garden. No. How could this happen?
Rigged. We get the lunchbox showdown between Wakaba and Anthe.
Yeah, I'm still on the Toga stuff because, like, I think he kisses her at some point again.
Yeah, he tries.
Oh, here's what he says. Here's a line I mentioned. So they're in the garden, right? And he's like convincing her that he's her prince. He's like, oh, it's like you. And he says this. I called you here at long last, after you grew into my ideal woman to make you mine and mine alone, Utena. And she's like, oh, is he really my prince? Awful rancid vibes. I'm 100%. Bringing this up because in about a volume and a half, he's going to be on the team and we just like him again.
Yeah, this is like Saionji, where it's like, that guy sucks. Why is he on the car? He doesn't have a spot reserved in the Utena car. The Wakaba car.
Yep, so they're hitting on each other, or he's hitting on her pretty aggressively in the garden. Anthony's also there, and then we get the whole, like, oh, she just says whatever you want her to say because she's the Rose Bride. She doesn't have will of her own, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Utena has a hard time believing that, so she runs away. Then we get the part where it's like, oh, Wakaba, you should become friends with Anthy. And Wakaba's like, that sucks. Anthy sucks. I don't like her. And this is about the most Wakaba stuff we get, is her not liking Anthy.
Yeah.
And then she's kind of
I mean, I feel like we don't get much interaction between the two, even in the anime.
That's true. But I do like Wakaba in the anime, and I don't really like her here. Let's see. We keep going. Anthy keeps disappearing at night, but won't explain what she's doing, so Utena follows her to a much more normal-size-looking planetarium building. It's actually kind of an observation deck building, more like. Utena goes in there, and she meets Akio, Anthy's brother. How do you think he looks in this version?
He looks hot in the book, except for the stupid giant-ass hoop earring. The hoop looks stupid, and then he also still has the stupid bobble hair type. But I feel like I really like. I guess his hair's purple, but they're like inking it darkly. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So he looks cool. What do you think?
No, I think he looks pretty good.
He is sitting on an armchair instead of sitting in the chair,
it's
which is
so
weird.
funny. He's so weird. And like. Yeah.
He's just like posing all over the place.
He just poses all the time. It's pretty good, actually. Like, I do like Akio always posing ridiculously.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So I do like that part.
Yeah, we don't really get him like over. I guess there's one scene where he's kind of talking about the stars and stuff, but it's not like constant. And we get the mention of the fiance, but she doesn't. She doesn't make an appearance.
It doesn't matter. We just kind of get his deal. He's the acting chairman. He's in college. He's going to marry into a different family, so his last name's different. That kind of stuff. We keep going until we get another character profile, and it's labeled as Team Utena member number 3, Juri. Arisagawa. I'm not a member of Team Utena at this point, or really at all. What are we doing?
I don't know. Ooh, weak point. Too many secrets.
Which is
really not true. We don't get any hint of that. No, not in this.
A lot of the stuff that we get about those characters later on just kind of doesn't really exist.
Yeah, so it's very much like, I feel like, okay, maybe they had like, whatever the planning process for like doing all these simultaneous projects is, like, here's the things, and so it's like, okay, prior modeling experience. They slipped that in here and there on the anime of like her being into like fancy jewelry and stuff, and
yeah. It's like, I wonder if they are imagining people are just only going to read the manga or only watch the anime, or if they're going to do both. You know what I mean? Because I feel like some of the stuff only makes sense if you interact with the other mediums it's in also.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true. You could just read this and it makes sense. It's just going to throw some stuff that might seem surprising.
Yes. This omnibus feels so nice. It just... the pages.
Oh, the pages are great. It's such a good printing.
So lovely. Yes.
Yep. Anyway, we get another scene with Wakaba where she's like, do you like Anthy more than me? And Utena's like, Anthy's kind of like family. And she's like, that's something married people would say. Let's see. Toga gears up for the fight. Anthy starts being cute and jumping on Utena's back like she's Wakaba. That's pretty fun.
I liked that, yeah.
They challenged. We get the Toga duel. Gets challenged to a duel. He's like, I'm your prince, so I'm gonna win to save you from having to duel in the future. And then Anthy's like, I want you to win, Utena, because I believe in you. And then they have the fight, and she loses. Not really sure if there's like a big indication of why she loses here.
I think it's because like she doesn't really want to fight him because she thinks he's her prince shtick vibe.
Yeah, like I don't think they do a good job showing that she kind of throws it.
Yeah. Her heart's just not in it.
Yeah. Anyway, we get the same scene as we do in the anime where like Anthy wins and becomes the bride to Toga, and Toga like, oh, do you like being the Rose Bride? And she says yes, because Anthy just kind of parrots whatever the person in charge wants her to do. And that messes up Utena. You get that whole thing.
Yes.
She leaves. Utena dresses in her girl outfit. goes around, has that whole arc where she like rediscovers herself.
Yeah.
Yep, that all kind of happens. Toga as the Rose Bride. Everybody hates Toga after he wins, by the way, including Juri, who supposedly has a crush on him, or maybe.
Or so they try to tell us. Try to make us believe. We're not
Saionji
buying it.
Also is like, oh, it's like, oh, I'm in love with you, Anthe. So we still get that stuff. He does slap her.
Ugh.
So that's still happening.
Yeah.
To knock Utena out of her funk, Saionji shows up.
Our guy.
And tells him that the student council's in shambles, and also he can commiserate with her about losing Anthe. And then Toga shows up and like asks her on a date, and we kind of get the same scene with Wakaba.
Okay,
kind of throws the water.
Girl, what? Stop buying his crap, like.
Dude, it's brutal in this.
Yes.
She gets a letter from her noble prince. It says, "Don't ever forget your strength, your noble heart." She's like, "Oh, can this be for my prince?" And that snaps her back into being. That's what motivates her into getting back into prince mode.
Instead of for friendship.
Instead of like remembering who she is on the inside as a person and like how she wants her relationships with other people to be, it's that her prince encourages her. This is a thing that's going to happen a lot in this manga, where the idea of being a prince is a good thing, actually. This is the biggest difference, and we're going to see this more. This makes me a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, so we get the same stuff that basically happens in the anime. She re-challenges him to a duel. He's like, "Oh, if I win this duel, you'll be my woman." And she's like, "Ugh, sure. I guess." Everybody encourages her to win because everybody hates that Toga won. They have a scene before the duel where her and Toga are hanging out, just talking about how they're going to go all out in this. And Utena's like, "Why do you want the power to revolutionize the world?" And he's like, "Oh, that's easy. Tenjo, have you ever felt that you were an outsider, that this place we look down upon, it's like another world from far away from the real one? Our true selves exist someplace else. We all want to get back, to get that world back so we can finally return to our deepest selves. This world we inhabit is like an egg, a small world encased in a hard shell. The chick will die unborn if it doesn't break through that shell. It will die without ever knowing it's a bird. If we don't break through the world's shell, we'll die without ever being born, without knowing we can fly. And I want to fly. That is why I will revolutionize the world, so that I can be myself." This feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's hinting at the fact that isn't really a thing in this, but in the anime where it's like, oh, we're all kind of stuck here, like no progress, all that. It kind of feels like it's referencing that, even though that's
I mean, this is the monologue they get in the student council thing, right?
I know,
it's the world shell thing.
Yeah.
And he's kind of getting here, but the thing is, like, I haven't really gotten that. Like, it's weird because he's like, "Oh, have you noticed that, like, this place is like another world far away from the real one?" Which I'm like, yeah, this is like an absurd fantasy high school. And then they're like, "Oh, we all want to get back to the real world." And I'm like, oh, okay. It doesn't really feel like the stuff has been setting things up for this conversation.
No, not at all.
Because we've been really vague about what the revolution, like revolutionizing the world, means.
Yes. I like that she's kind of turning it around on him and now kind of poking at him and putting the moves on him, and then he's flustered. I do like that change.
Yeah, she like flirts with him.
Yeah. But in like a kind of patronizing way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, they do the duel. It kind of goes the similar way, where he's pretty good because he's got the Sword of Dios. Oh, also he does the Sword of Dios power up again thing, which like has instead of her kissing it, has her reinsert the sword into herself.
Yeah, I feel like the kiss is with the fancy, like, dramatic posturing is cooler.
Yeah, this is much more phallic imagery than the other one, the kiss one.
Yeah.
Let me just say.
Yes.
Yeah, but it makes the sword glow and makes it hot, which makes fighting hard. But Utena wins it. He's got her pinned down again, too, in like a real sex metaphor way.
Yeah, totally. Although I feel like the anime definitely, just overall, it feels like sex is more ever present on the mind throughout the anime.
Well, in the anime, sex is like explicit. And then like we're referencing it as that. Like everybody knows that this is happening. Like it's both implied, but it's like implied specifically. This here, it's just kind of like visually referenced.
Yeah.
Anyway, Utena, what'd she do? She merged with the prince? Is that what happens?
When he's on top of her. Well, she
busts
his
she
flower
gives a
with her
speech.
broken. Yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, so she gives a speech about how she wants to be, about how Anthe's important to her, and Anthe listening to this like causes the power that she gave it to fade.
Mm-hmm.
And then Utena does a counterattack. So I guess that's kind of similar to what happens in the anime. So anyway, she wins. This is the last duel, by the way.
You're right.
So the tower starts coming down, and like the image of Dios himself shows up, and we get like a good look at him, and he just looks like Akio.
Yeah, looks good. And
he looks good, and Utena's like, "Oh, you're my prince." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm Dios." And she gives him the sword, and he takes the sword and floats back up to the castle. And Utena's like, "Oh, one day I'm gonna go to that castle and see my prince." And Toga's like, "I see I have lost. Well, now that I have lost, I know what I must do. I must become your follower. I will be your servant, Utena."
Like this Pris is gonna serve anyone.
So he becomes her servant. That's what happens.
Yeah, against her will, like everything else.
Yep, she doesn't really give an answer. Anyway, wakes up the next day. Toga's here, sharing their bathroom.
Ooh.
Yep, walking out of the shower. And he makes her breakfast, and she's kind of mad about it. But not mad about it to say, like, go away. She just kind of throws a fit that he's following her around. Anyway, the whole squad, it's Utena squad now, as the rest of the student council have nothing else to do, so they hang out with her. Toga gets to explain what's going on here. And what has happened. What he explains. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I feel like this... I know I said earlier, I like it when it was super laid out for me. I do feel like it was more interestingly revealed in the anime, but carry on.
Yeah, so this is what he says. World's End wishes to gain the power of Dios. He's just saying it. Like, Dios, the boy that lives in the castle in the sky, I don't know if he really exists or if he's just a mirage, an illusion. In any case, Dio has the power to stop the stars, and if you can change the course of the celestial bodies, well, that is the power to revolutionize the world. So that's what it means. You move the stars, and that... It
doesn't say what happens.
It doesn't really say what happens, but it is like, oh, you move the stars. It's the power to stop the stars, which kind of insinuates time stops.
Okay.
And that's why we've continued to duel, to obtain the Tower of the Rose Bride, because the prize... It is only when we duel that the sword appears from the bride's bosom. We don't know why Himemiya should hold such an awesome ability, but that sword draws forth the very power of Dios from the castle in the sky. The one who wins the duels, the one who can use the sword shall be crowned the final victor. So, it's all about the sword. The sword does everything here.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you going to do, Utena? Are you going to realize his ambition and revolutionize the world? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, by the way, you shouldn't trust Anthe, because she's in communication with End of the World. And Utena's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, so are you, dude, kind of.
Yeah. And Utena's like, is that true, Anthe? And Anthe's like, kinda.
Yeah, just fast as
she's like, yeah, I'm in cahoots. I feel real bad about it, though. Because Anthe's like, oh, what World's End can't have, he will destroy. Your safety, the safety of those important to you, is hanging in the balance. You're the one he wants. And if you fight him on that, or Kiryu stands in his way, one or both of you will pay the price. Because I guess even though she won the duel, we're going to have a final showdown with End of the World now.
Yep.
And Utena's like, oh, well, you warned me, so we're still kind of friends. Anyway, I'm still going to go with it.
Yeah.
She leaves and finds Wakaba's dorm on fire.
Oh, yeah.
So she tries to go in and save Wakaba, which doesn't work. And instead she is about to get caught up in the flames, and all of a sudden Akio shows up being hot.
Yeah, we got a scarf and turtleneck. Love that.
Yep. He rescues Utena, and they jump out of the fire into a bed of roses.
Just always saving Utena.
They're not roses. They're some other flower. If you jump into a bed of roses, that would hurt.
Yeah, they're much fluffier looking.
Yeah, and Utena's like, ooh, the chairman sure is hot. And then we cut to the chairman being like, ah, yes, everything will all be good. for the end of the world's will, because it's me. I'm the end of the world, and it's him on a couch with Anthe sitting on his lap. End of volume 1.
At least she's wearing clothes.
She's wearing clothes.
Yes.
Yep. That's what we get.
Yep,
Oh
yep,
man,
yep.
that took so long to get through.
I know.
We'll move a little faster.
Okay.
But that's the main stuff. I mean, the main stuff is
Yes.
like we hit on the same points here. We get more explanation of what's literally happening. We don't get any of the like character depth stuff. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
It sure is pretty.
It sure is pretty. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't have any big feelings about it, particularly, unfortunately.
No.
Not for this first volume.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just get in the second one. I can hit the 2 side stories.
Yes, yeah.
They're both comedy ones, so they're not that big of a deal. The first one is just kind of like the Curry personality swap episode.
Yes.
Basically follows that. It's really cute. I think the comedy manga stuff works really well.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had a good time with this. Pretty good. The second one is also a comedy one. That one is like Choo Choo runs into this mystic idol and is able to get 3 wishes. And so he wishes for a bunch of bananas. And then the student council shows up because this is happening in the scene where Toga's about to explain that the power of Dios is to stop the stars from moving. And then Saionji starts bullying Choo Choo. And so Choo Choo decides to make them all the same size, which shrinks everybody else.
Yep.
But Saionji happened to not be in the room when he does that, so he's like, oh, make everybody go to the same size, or like to grow big again. So they all grow big, including Saionji, who's now enormous.
Yeah. So I guess that's like in the absence of Nanami being our bit person, Choo Choo is like really stepping up to the plate to drive these side stories.
Yeah, pretty good. Just normal gag, I think. Yeah, pretty solid stuff. I wish there was more time in these mangas to just have fun like this.
Yeah. No, we may not have cars, but we are speeding down this highway of Utena. I like the color illustrations in the next one too.
Yeah, the illustrations are so good.
Yes. Like I like her in the pink uniform.
Yeah, and Anthe in the white.
Yeah. We get the bunch of different stuff. I really like the one where it's like Anthe and Utena reaching for each other. They both got like the freaking dudes draped on them.
Yeah.
Like, distractors, and then what they really want is each other.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, freaking yeah. We got our Black Rose boys up in here.
Yep, we get a side story with them.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay.
Okay. This. So then we pick back up in the second omnibus. Basically back in the manga where like Akio is trying to seduce Utena. So he takes her in a ride in his car and is cool, and we get some nice landscape shots. They get one of like a bridge. Looks good. Pretty good stuff. We get the whole thing where he like takes off her shoes.
Oh yeah, that's kind of sexual too.
That's pretty sexual.
Yeah.
We still get some stuff about like him being intimate with Anthe also.
Yes.
I do see that there's a scene where the planetarium opens up to actually look at the actual stars, not a projection, even though it's a big projector. Made me a little mad, but don't worry about it. All while this is happening, like, Toga's like, hey, you need to not fall in love with Akio. Don't do that. But she's totally doing that. We get some good stuff where Akio explains that his name is the same as Lucifer, and we get a good illustration of him as the devil.
Yeah, that was good.
Yep, and then on the next page, we get her as, like, a goddess, kind of like Utena as a goddess, also pretty good, when he's, like, aggressively hitting on her. They kiss, consensually, so that's good.
Yeah.
And then
first one,
Anthe sees this and is sad about it. We get, like, a full 2-page spread of them kissing. It's pretty good.
Indeed. And then we get Pretty Anthe.
Yep, Anthe comes to Utena in a dream to remind her of her goals, to help her friends out that she cares for. Utena's not sure what to do. She puts 6 cubes of sugar in her coffee.
What's the normal amount?
One.
What's the normal cube amount? You think? What is one?
That's kind of a lot, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Because the cubes are pretty big.
Okay.
Let's see. It keeps happening. Toga is like very much like, no, Utena, you can't fall for Akio. You should fall for me, Toga Kiryu. And like, she's like, oh, I'm just so confused. I don't know what to do. And Toga's like, I know what to do, and you'll get mad at me. And he pulls her in for another kiss that she doesn't want.
Wait, who doesn't like that?
And she kisses it, and he kisses her again. She's like, what the heck, man? You told me you'd always protect me, and now this? And he's like, I am protecting you by kissing you non-consensually. Because he tells her that world's end is Akio. She's like, what? He's like, yes, it is Akio. And she's like, how can this be? You're lying, aren't you? And he's like, no, it's the truth. It all makes sense. This is why Anthy's helping him out. This is why it's all going. And Utena's like, no.
I like your performance of them.
My summary, yeah, I'm trying to get through this. There's so much stuff that happens. I feel like we're an hour in. I feel like this wouldn't take so long, but it has, because there's a lot of stuff in here, you know, to kind of touch on. Because I'm trying to remember everything, because I've just like tabbed. I have so many tabs on this book.
Joe came prepared, you know. I'm
even though one of us is supposed to be doing the summary and just kind of didn't do it. I also didn't do all the reading either, so you know that was also kind of a problem. Let's see. We get another scene where they go in a car, but Utena doesn't really want to go in the car this time, but she does anyway.
Well, is this weird?
And she doesn't like how Akio is treating Anthy.
Anthy gets the boot out of the car, but she's like, "Come with us, Anthy," and it feels like he abducts her almost because she's just then in the car.
Yeah, and she's like, "You're World's End, aren't you?" And Akio's like, "Ah ha ha ha, yes." And then he's about to drive into the dueling arena, which is gonna like crash their car, but the car is magic and it just gets into the arena just fine. And Utena's like, I thought I was gonna die, and Akio's like, I know. And then he kisses her again, and she's just cool with it. What's happening?
No. Come on, girl. Good.
These aren't even good moves, is the thing. Like, scaring you and then kissing you is not a romantic thing to do.
Well, she's also inexperienced in love.
That's true.
He's the older guy, so there's probably just, you know, the weird power dynamic. You just assume that he's doing it because that's how it's done as an adult. I mean, we don't have the whole, like, obsession with being grown up that I feel like there kind of was at some parts in the anime.
Yeah.
Like, wanting to be mature because he's older thing.
Right. I mean, she does mention that she wants somebody older, like, at one point. When like a bunch of girls are talking, but that's basically the most we get.
That's just because she's thinking of him, not because of what she always wanted. So
yeah. But on the next page, we get a nice drawing of Utena and Juri and Anthy in like Rococo regalia, and it looks nice. Remember the Rose of Versailles? I need to read that manga.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's another one that's been on the to-do list.
That was like so many though. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I know we wasted them all on Jurassic Park, and then we're dead after that.
Ugh. Anyway, Utena's all freaked out because she's like, "Oh no, the guy I'm in love with is the villain." And Toga runs into her in the rain, and she's like, "You got to snap me out of it, Toga." And Toga's like, "Ugh, because I'm in love with him." And Toga's like, "I can't believe you're in love with him. I feel so betrayed." So he leaves, and he's like, "I can't be your servant anymore, or your friend, because you love Akio." And Utena's all in knots about it.
Yeah.
And Anthy's like, that's cool, man. Everything will work out. And Utena's like, but your brother said we have to do the consummation ceremony.
Oh, Lord.
And Anthy's like, well, I guess we'll just do that because my brother said to. I'll give up my life if that's what he wanted. And Utena's like, you'd go that far? She's like, it's not about will, Lady Utena. It's about all he's done for me through the ages. You wouldn't understand. It's better this way. Anyway, it's the day of the consecration.
Yeah.
Toga's is all sad that they're not going to get together, and Utena's like, ooh, Toga is not being all over me anymore. I have feelings about that. And then Akio whisks her away.
He has such lovely eyelashes. Like, His lashes are looking. All the men have beautiful eyelashes, just like reality, where it's like, why do the guys get the good lashes?
Yeah. It's because of the patriarchy. Let's see. They go to the consecration ceremony, which involves her pulling up the sword of Dios and then kissing Anthe, and then Utena just kind of floats in the air.
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
And Akio takes the sword, and he like stabs her with it.
Mm.
There's a really cool scene where like light shoots up everywhere. Good, like full page thing. Again,
yep.
I feel like the environmental drawings are really good in this.
Indeed.
At the end of this, what happens is that like Akio is dressed like the prince, and Lieutenant is dressed like the Rose Bride. And he's like, "You've become the Rose Bride."
He looks very good when he has a stupid bobble is not on his hair and it's loose. He's looking mighty dapper in that full panel.
Yeah, no, he's good. He pulls the sword from her. Okay, hold on. Where is it? He pulls the sword on her, and she says that it hurts in the same way that having sex would for the first time. Because he's about to pull the sword from her. He's like, "What are you?" And it's like, "It hurts." And he's like, "What are you doing to me?"
I can't. What's to become of me?
You see the thing the page I'm on?
Yeah.
It's the page after she gets the full dress.
Yes.
Yep. It hurts.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and everyone's watching. Oh.
And so, like, this is part of my complaint with this. Like, it evokes a lot of that stuff because there's like a lot of that imagery, but it doesn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like in the anime, like that stuff plays a role and like is in discussion with the other parts of like what it means to be an adult, that kind of stuff. Here, it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Akio, by doing this, let's see, what's he doing? He's like, "Oh, Dios, the prince, is up in the castle, and I'm gonna bring her down." And Anthe is trapped in a big glass coffin, and he's like, "I'm gonna go up and kill Dios now. Bye." So she smacks the sword out of his hands, but it doesn't really work because she's like, "Oh," because Utena has realized that the thing she cares about most here is Anthe. Now that it's obvious that she's going to be sacrificed in this process, she refuses to go up to the castle with Akio. He goes up by himself. She is trying to break Anthe out of the glass coffin. The rest of the student council is also here. She throws her ring, and like the image of Dios comes down and gives her the power of Dios one last time so she can shatter the coffin that Anthe's in. And then the castle descends, and there's a full castle they can go into because Anthe beckons it down, and they can go into the whole castle as the final dungeon. The whole student council goes into the castle, and they walk about 5 feet before Sayochi gets stuck in a glass coffin, and Anthe's like, the name of his coffin is Assumption, because that's his flaw. He just kind of assumes things, like that I'm in love with him when I'm not.
Get wrecked, Sayochi.
And Juri's like, "Well, this sucks. This is like a big trap." And then she gets trapped into a coffin, and her coffin's name is Obstinacy, which does not really get explained why that's her thing.
It's just like being kind of stubborn, right? Like,
yeah, it's being stubborn. I feel like that's not a big deal. But anyway, Mickey then gets captured because his coffin is immaturity, which I don't really get why that's his thing either, based on what we've read so far. But don't worry about it.
He's younger. He can't help it. He's younger.
He's got bad hair.
It's not a sin. Yeah, he does have bad hair.
Yep. And then Toga's like, "Oh, what's my coffin going to be?" And Anthe's like, "You don't have one because you're not running away. You're looking at yourself head on." And then they keep going. And Anthe exposits us what the backstory of Dios is, which is that she was going to die once, and Dios saved her. And there was like, there was another guy. There was another guy. Dios had a brother that grew up with him. And like, his brother didn't like him and was jealous about him. And so he overthrew Dios and killed him. And that's Akio. And he's like, "Damn, that's crazy." And then Anthe's like, then Utena's like, "The thing I want is to live in the same world with you, and you're my friend. I want to understand you." And Anthe's like, "Oh, we were roommates." Let's see. The castle starts breaking apart. Toga saves her and gets crushed by nondescript debris.
Mm-hmm.
Because Toga's a hero for some reason. Utena makes it up to the platform with Dios on the egg. She like goes up to him and finds
normal size.
Where he's a normal
not
size.
Freakishly huge.
Yep. Where she goes up and finds that, oh no, he's been killed. Because Akio got here first and stabbed him in the heart. And then Dios turns into a ring. The seal ring. And Akio takes it and he's like, ah ha ha ha. I've my master plan. I'm here. Your prince, me, Akio. Dios is just a name, because I used to be called... we're the same guy. Akio reveals that they're the same guy. You people have a name for what I am, he says. You used to call it God. I'm a god, says Akio. He says, like, you're one of the race of the gods? And he's like, yeah, I'm called World End these days, but I used to be Dios. Because we're two halves of the same whole. He's the one that's nice to people, and I'm the one that's a jerk. And the one... we came down to help mankind, and Dios of Light gave them everything that mankind asked for, but then they asked for more.
You know what? I am team, like, it's like at the end of the giving tree, where it's like, screw that guy. How could he do this to the tree? He took from the tree too much.
Here's
and I can get behind not standing for that.
Okay, here's what it actually says. The duty of Dios, our duty, was to help mankind. We were indeed called God back then, and it brought us joy to aid our people. But man asked for more, and the Dios of Light gave it to them. Thus he sealed our fate, for we were equals no longer. If man's whims had ruled us, we would have brought ourselves to ruin, and so I rebelled against Dios of Light. I took my own body, and with it at last had my triumph. And he's like, I'm going to become World's End, not Dios. And the Dios eye is like, no. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing it. And Dios is like, am I going to fade away? Oh, but what's this? Oh, I saved a young girl from drowning in my last moments as Dio, the god of light. And I will give her my heart and my courage and say, you're not alone as I fade out of existence. And Akio is like, yeah, I was supposed to be done with that guy, but like Anthe kept him alive in her heart because she liked Dios, the god of light, so much. Anyway, she's a huge problem because Anthe's biggest dream is for Dios to remain intact.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she starts dying or whatever because her faith in Dios is gone because she sees his dead body. And Utena's like, no, Dios lives on within me. I'll be the prince. I'll become Dios and kick your ass. And then they have a big fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty cool.
Pinning her to the ground and all that.
Yeah, a lot of her, and like her ring like turns into thorns and like engulfs her and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good stuff.
Yeah. All the Anthe's hair looks so good. Sorry, I'm like just like, oh, it's so pretty.
Yep.
Everyone looks so good.
She declares that she's gonna become Himemiya's prince. She's gonna become Dios, and Dios appears, and they merge into one, and she uses it to beat Akio in a real ass sword fight, which means she stabs him and gets stabbed, and they're bleeding.
Yeah, get him.
Which is kind of shocking. I do like this how this turns out, because it is kind of a shocking difference between what's happened so far. So that's pretty good dramatic stuff.
Yes. Okay, so is this like the reason why Dios would appear when Utena would be dueling is because she already had it within her and it was just showing up?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the ring. She had the ring.
Yeah. The others are fake rings. Sorry, I'm like getting tired. My brain's starting to shut down.
Yeah, we're almost at the end here. Let's see. Utena's dying because she got stabbed.
Oh, she gets this sick ass outfit.
She does. Anthe's like, oh, you're just a girl. This fight's too much for a mortal. Besides, it doesn't matter anymore. I don't need a prince to save me. And Utena's like, oh, you came back to save me, so we're all good. You know, can this be the end? And then, like, Utena bursts out and she merges into Dios completely and becomes, like, the new god of light. Mm-hmm. And has a good white outfit.
Yeah, cool cape.
Which she uses to finish off Dios very dramatically and like sprouts angel wings and stuff, and it's cool as hell.
Indeed, it is.
And then she kisses him, which is not as cool.
Yeah, no. But I guess it's the putting it back together.
They're remerging together. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably, there's probably a better way to merge with your evil half as opposed to kissing them, but whatever. There's a giant explosion, looks also pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. So yeah, it seemed like a bad thing that Anthony was enclosing you, but it protected you guys.
Yep. So that all happens. We fade back to reality. Toga's walking around at the high school. Nobody remembers Utena anymore. We're checking in with everybody. Blah blah blah. And he goes and sees Anthe to find that Anthe is now dressed like a prince in the uniform, like Utena used to, because she's Utena coded now.
Love it.
And she vaguely remembers who Utena is. Well, no, but she kind of does, and she's like, "Oh, Utena's still alive." And Toga's like, "Oh, how do you know?" And she's like, "I got this rose seal from her. I'm gonna go off to find her now. This is just the start." And then that's the end. The world awaits the power of Dios. So instead of this is very different than what happens in the anime.
Yes, it is.
This is very different.
Yeah.
Because this is very much like Dios is the good guy, and Akio's the bad guy, and in the end, Utena becomes the god of light to replace Dios by emulating him so hard and forming with him, and therefore puts the world back into alignment. Much in, have you ever watched Madoka?
No.
Very similar in how that goes, except those have some movies that come after it, which do some stuff. Maybe we should watch that as a bonus thing. Yeah, very similar in terms of like how this goes. So, how do we feel about this?
I mean, it doesn't have like the whole like Anthe choosing for herself moment that I really like in the anime. But I think visually this is very nice. I liked getting to see Anthe all decked out in the print stuff. And that, yeah, I mean, it ends on like a similar, it ends at like kind of the same as far as like Anthe now has to go find Utena. So like the ending sentiment is kind of the same. It's just how we got there.
They just mean completely different things. Because like in this, she's like, I need to find Utena, the like embodiment of like chivalry and like saving damsels and being good and that kind of thing. Whereas in the other one, it's like, I'm gonna find, in the anime, it's like, I'm gonna find Utena in the real world where real people exist and you're not thinking of your life as a fairy tale. This is like it almost feels like it's the opposite to me. Because in this, it's like, thinking of your life as a fairy tale is good if you can embody the good aspects of it.
Yeah.
Like, being a prince and saving princesses is good as long as there are princes and princesses to save. And emulating those things is a positive. And, like, recreating the balance of the world by reuniting the two halves of Akio Dios is, like, a world resetting thing. Not a world resetting, but it's like a restoration of the balance of the universe in making girls happy or something. Whereas like the anime, I feel like, is very much just like, hey, thinking about your life in these terms is bad. Like, it's okay to think about these for a while, but at a certain point you're gonna have to like make an identity for yourself outside of the constraints of like good and evil and chivalry and all this other stuff, and like the ideas of princesses and princes and stuff like that. And this is very much just like, nah, that stuff rules. You should hang on to it. You should only take the good stuff though.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, yeah, her outfit's cuter at the end of the anime than the
her outfit is cuter.
Yeah,
her just becoming Utena in the end is like also not what I want.
yeah.
I want her to become herself as an individual, not just to start emulating somebody else.
Yeah. Who was emulating someone else?
Who was also emulating somebody else. I mean, we're just kind of recreating the loop again, it feels like. Whereas in the other, like in the Utena anime and in Adolescence of Utena, they both end up on like this optimistic, you can carve out a new path for yourself. This feels like we're just going to be iterating. This is like a Dark Souls 2 instead of a Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Anyway, we got some
Well,
side stories.
yeah, we've get more Juri, not in the way we would like, but
Do you have any more big thoughts about this part before we get into the other stuff?
um, no, my brain's too tired.
You can't be tired. We still have so much more to talk about.
I know, I'm dying.
All right, side story content. This is not super huge. We get some side stories. The first one we get is basically the episode where Ruka shows up.
Yeah.
To be like Juri's former. Well, in this one, because we have straight Juri, it's like a guy she was kind of into and was also kind of maybe into her a little bit. And he shows up and he's like, "Oh, Juri, you suck now. I'm back from the hospital." And she's like, "Oh man, why do I suck now?" Because she's back from the hospital. And he's like, "Juri, you don't know yourself at all. I'm gonna start hitting on Utena really hard and like make it seem like I'm trying to like get with her to make you jealous." And Juri gets jealous and he's goading her into challenging Utena to the duel so that she can win and become the person who can change the world, because he really has her best interest at heart and understands her better than herself, who doesn't understand herself at all. And in the end, she's like, "I don't want to." They get to the duel, and she's like, "I don't want to duel Utena. I want to duel you, Ruka, because you're the one messing with me." I'm like, I've got all up in my feelings about it, and like, they almost kiss, but then he like, I don't know, passes out because it was too much on his body. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is in like the fencing part. When they get to the actual duel part, it's supposed to be Juri versus Utena, but Juri quits. She's like, I don't want to do this. So then Ruka starts to like is gonna duel her instead, and is about to beat Utena when all of a sudden he just collapses over with anime boy disease and has to go back to the hospital. And like Toga's like, "Oh, you just never understood what he was doing. He was trying to get you the life you don't even know you want, because all the men in the Utena manga know these women better than themselves." The end of side story. It made me so mad. I was so mad about the side story. I hate that when they're like, "Oh, all these men know what women want who never know anything about themselves."
I guess it makes sense that why, like, in the anime, there's the chick she's into is so, like, unlikable that I'm like, why would she be into her? It's because she just was more of, like, a figure than, like, an actual person to like. Or she wasn't even in this version, but I'm like, there's nothing appealing about the chick in that Yuri would be into, and you would hope Yuri would be into something better, but this is the alternative, I guess. How are we feeling, Joe? We're pissed.
It's so bad. I hate it. I hate it so much to be like the thing about it is, the compelling thing about Juri, her whole thing is that like she is very clearly in like a love triangle, right? Like an actual love triangle. With three people who both refuse to understand themselves and the other people in the love triangle. So there's constantly misunderstandings about what everybody's trying to do, because they're only able to view each other through like archetypes, right? Where it's like Shiori thinks that Juri is her love rival because that's what she like understands. That's how she can understand her interactions with other people. So she like is all, "Oh, Juri always looks down on me because this guy likes her, which makes her my love rival," and doesn't really understand what Juri's doing at all, right? Whereas like Juri doesn't really understand what like Ruka's doing, because she like is unable to like think about how other people might experience her or have feelings about her, because she's so like self-absorbed about it. And she's just like, "Oh, I'm this tragic figure that can't make any move on anything because she refuses to address any of her problems, because being a martyr is how she can like understand herself." And Ruka is the same thing, where it's like, "Oh, I want to help Juri out because I like Juri, but my only method of doing it is by like being a like patriarchal, condescending asshole about it, and like telling her that I know her better than she does," which is just not true, right? It's like all that stuff is not true, and that's why it's all kind of tragic in the anime. Here it's true. Here it's like, oh, Ruka does actually know what's good for Juri, but he's just if he didn't have anime boy disease, then it would be fine. They could just get together, but he doesn't, and it's all tragic. And I'm like, no. Like, so much of Utena for me is about how a bunch of people, and like the student council part especially, are like, the part of growing up that I think is interesting is you both have to gain clarity about what the world is, like what's happening to you in your life, and then you have to make a decision about what to do about that, right? Like Mickey is somebody who's naive, so he has no clarity on what the real world is like, right? And that's his problem. Saionji and Juri have partial clarity, which means they understand some parts of like the world and how people operate, but they always miss stuff about themselves or the situation that you're in, right? Like, so Saionji can't really understand that like Anthony's not actually into him. He doesn't really like able to pick that up. He doesn't really understand his feelings about it either, which are all misplaced like feelings of jealousy about Toga. And Juri's whole thing is that she's like, oh, I'm like kind of stuck in this losing situation without understanding how the other people like feel about it or what she could do to possibly move the needle on everything. She's just kind of like stuck in place because she doesn't want to do anything because she's choosing not to act. Whereas like Toga understands everything, right? Like he understands people, he understands all this other stuff, but instead of making a decision to like make people's lives better, the decision he makes is to recreate the process where it's like to take advantage of it and recreate the process.
Joe is
and that's
heated.
what I like about it. They all do different things, and it's all about how much clarity do you gain. I mean, like the major aspects of Utena happen when people realize stuff. Like Nanami realizes information about the world and tries to leave it. That's the action she's about to take at the end of her arc, right? And like, what do you do?
Right.
Like, that's the process of growing up. Is like you learn a bunch of stuff and you finally understand how things fit together, and you have to do something with that information. And you can either, you know, try to ignore it. You can run away from that information and try to like live your life as if it's not happening. You can try to just give up and kind of acquiesce to your situation. It's kind of what Juri's doing. Or you can try to fight against it, right? And that's like what the revolution is. It's about like seeing what the world has in store for you if you just are passive about it and deciding to do something else, right? Which is like the whole story of Anthe is like her life is teed up to be a certain way by the powers around her, and she has to make the decision not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
This manga is not about that. This manga is not doing that stuff. This manga is like, you need a prince to come help you out. Like, it's important to help other people out, and you want to be the person that helps other people out, and that requires you to both like receive help and also give it to other people, and to also be strong, but in the very traditional, like, masculine way. Yes. Like, the fact that Anthe has to end the story with dressed up as Utena, as dressed up as a boy, and was not able to do it as herself, being herself. Yeah. It feels That's so damning to me. And, like, this side story about, like, oh, Juri just doesn't know herself and these boys do, is just like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Dang.
Anyway, the second side story is the Black Rose Seal, where we basically just do the Black Rose stuff with Mikage, and it's just normal. Yes. It's just a good little story with Mikage in it. Yeah, I feel like people just liked that character in the anime, so she's like, we'll do a side story with it, whatever.
There was no, like, coffin chucking, though, was there?
There was no coffin chucking, yeah. There is the whole story about the boys dying, and then at the end, it, like, collapses into the thing, and we look at it. It's pretty good. This is a good one-shot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Okay. And then the big bad.
And then we get the Adolescence of Utena. And it's just the Adolescence of Utena until the very end. But let me tell you, damn, do these backgrounds look good. Damn, does this manga look good. This is the best looking thing. It does. The like the first page where just Utena in the like black and white, like Batman the Animated Series villain costume. So good.
Yes. I freaking like, yes. And then Toga just sprawled out.
The Toga's totally naked, under these sheets. Yeah. Looks great. We basically just do the Adolescence of Utena. Up until, where does it change? It changed. Okay, so they get to the part where they're like gonna draw each other.
Oh yeah.
And Utena's like, wow, these sure are a lot of drawings of you. And then that gets interrupted, so we don't get the reveal of like the Akio stuff here. Because Juri challenges Utena to a duel here. But instead of her actually dueling Juri, Toga shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And Utena, and like makes Utena mad because she's still kind of like in her feelings about Toga. So she challenges him to a duel. And that's where things really start to diverge.
Yeah. I really like Juri's hair more in this, like...
Yes.
Everyone's hair, okay, because like I think
no, the hair works in this version.
It does, because it's not like they're changing the colors, you know, or not Really, it's just, well, I guess a little bit for Toga. He doesn't have like his little money piece going on, but uh yeah, no, everything does look really good. I like his black uniform, or
Yeah, the
Prince
black
get up.
uniform looks
That's
good.
cool. Yes. Um Everyone needs to be putting their hair in ponytails if they're gonna be fighting though. That's getting in the way. I like that they're watching with their little binoculars.
Yeah, they're watching the duel with Utena and Toga. Toga has her down and is like about to win, and she's like, and he's like, I'm gonna win. Are you ready? And she's like, yeah, because I'm still in love with you. And then she uses that opportunity to escape, and then Utena and Anthe kiss again. This causes the castle to appear above the dueling field. So the castle wasn't even in the movie, not like circling above. The image of Dios comes down. She merges with Dios. Toga talks about how he loves her. She wins the duel, and he disappears because Toga is dead. We get the reveal here, which is the same as in the movie. But in the movie, he doesn't talk to any other characters. In this, he talks to other characters, and other characters know who he is. So it was more shocking here.
Yeah.
In a way that I was just not expecting that. Utena handles the news bad that Toga is dead, but then she finds him again because he's like a ghost man. He's a ghost.
Yeah.
Toga explains what's going on. They were explicitly dating in this version.
Yes. Yeah.
Because she says 2 years ago when we broke up, you were gone in the blink of an eye. And he explains that he died. No, I fell from a boat, and then a prince came to save me, is what Utena says. Toga, and I wanted you to never come back up, and you drowned so you could save me. So he dies saving her in this version.
Yeah.
Which is real melodrama. And then she's like, "Oh, but I want you so bad, but you're here now in this dimension." And he's like, "Yes, I am here now in this dimension." And then they have sex. Just straight up, they're just having sex. They're just naked in these panels.
Naked in the sea of sparkles.
Yeah. Real Castor and Pollock stuff, if you know the Rose of Versailles.
Yeah, very much so.
This is where they discover Akio's body buried in the rose garden. Utena's like, "What's going on? I need to get out of here." And Toga's like, "Oh, you really want to get out of here?" And then Toga explains the backstory with Akio. We get a rare Kanai appearance.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's mad that her husband's dead, or her fiance is dead. Utena goes to find Anthe. She finds the sketch, like a picture of Anthe that her brother drew of her nude. And it like fades into, it like starts to develop like a spot of where she got stabbed. It's a pretty cool effect, actually.
Yeah,
it's like the longer she looks at it, the more it happens. And then the whole scene fades to when he's drawing the painting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. We get the whole her drinking the drugged drink, and then he rapes her, and she's actually awake the whole time. All that stuff plays out exactly the same. It's more explicit that he stabs her with a little...
Okay, I'll just say, these
thing.
These are flimsy-ass things. You're not stabbing anybody with that. It's going to bend out of shape.
Yeah, which extremely would not kill anybody. There's just no way you believed you would kill somebody with that.
No.
Yeah. The real Anthe shows up, shows her the scar. Akio's also there in the prince uniform as like the vision of him. And she's like, "Oh my god, it's World's End." And Toga finishes explaining the like fairy tale backstory.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you needed to rekindle your sister's lost power of love, so you made up this game so that she would remember you and like manifest you back into reality." And then they end up on the dueling field.
More Utena, Anthe schmoochies.
Yeah, and Anthe is like, "Hey, you get to be the prince now. We can be prince and princess together." And then she like pulls the sword out, and Utena's like puts the sword back in, which is always a good scene. And she's like, "I don't want to be your master." And Anthe's like, "I just want to be your friend. What if we, I don't want you to..." Okay, the thing she says, this is actually pretty good. I like this writing here.
Yeah.
"I don't want to be your master, Himemiya. I can't. Please, I just can't. Can I be your friend? I don't know how you feel, but do you truly want to live for all time the way you are now? to keep turning that scar into a sword of Dios as you nurse the same old wound for all eternity. That's good. I like being like, oh, the sword is actually the scar you're holding on to.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid stuff.
For sure. Absolutely, yeah.
Akio shows up and is like, no, you must draw the sword and retain the vision. And Utena's like, no, we're gonna run away. And then she runs away, and I'm like, come on, baby, turn into a car.
No! It's at the car wash. Where is it?
We do not turn into a car. Instead, they end up on the duelist field. Utena bursts into a bunch of roses. A giant Akio shows up and is like, Anthy, you have to choose me. Utena's drowning and gets saved by Ghost of Toga again, but she lets him go this time.
Yeah.
She snaps back to reality. She gets turned into a bunch of roses again. Even with Utena gone, Anthy decides that she is going to go to a new world because her words has touched her so much, and she declares that she is going to face the world with no regret, because she wants to live. And this pops Utena back into reality, and they both declare that they're going to use the power to revolutionize the world. And then Anthy banishes Akio from her mind, and everything falls apart very dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up...
Yeah, this is good.
In a planetarium, where it turns out Utena and Anthy are just hanging out in the planetarium, and Utena had just fallen asleep.
A little date.
When I look at the stars, I get the feeling, I don't know why, but I start to think that no matter what happens, I have to do the best I can to live my life, says Utena. And then they leave together, and that's the end. Pretty sweet ending.
Yeah.
Not as cool as a car chase.
I could have done without the car set. That's fine by me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I think this version hits kind of the main theme a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And looks pretty nice.
It looks really good.
But I don't like the Toga stuff still. I don't like how the manga ever handles Toga. I think the way Toga is handled is always bad, because they both keep the stuff about him that sucks, kind of, but also forgive him so easily.
Yeah. I don't understand. I feel like he's the worst version of himself in the anime. Not great in the manga, and then the Adolescence is like we already have a soured opinion of him.
Yeah, well, in Adolescence, he's like a different guy, right? Like, but the thing you see in Adolescence isn't actually him. It's like his ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like his vengeful ghost. It's like a ghost that's kind of angry or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so what we get of it kind of makes sense about, like, oh, he's kind of scheming with Shiori, and then he's, back, and, she's like, oh, I remember you, and then he kind of, like, fades back into the background. But that makes sense. Here, he does a little too much. Like, he's too in league with end of the world here.
Yeah.
And, like, him and Utena are, like, having sex and doing stuff, and he's, like, trying to exist in this world, and then he's like, oh, I guess you don't have to exist in the world. You can let my idea go. And it's fine, I guess. I don't know. He irritates me more in this one than he did in the movie.
Yeah, okay.
But he does look good.
Yeah, he does. Everybody looks good. Okay, tell us about this 2017 thing.
Yeah, 2017. It's been 20 years. We get 3 short stories in this one. They all take place after, so they're all kind of adults, like early adult kind of thing. The first one is with... These are actually pretty good. I would encourage you to try to read some of these, because they look
see them. Yeah,
cool. Again, looks fantastic. It looks even better than the other stuff, honestly. And like, it's a little bit more novel, so I end up enjoying it pretty well. That being said, first one, what happens in it. Basically, as adults, Saionji and Toga are both, like, art collectors who go to auctions to buy art pieces for rich people. And they get a summons to the academy because they found some of the chairman's old art, like, hidden away in a room, and one of their clients wants to buy it. So they go in to investigate. They're looking for a painting called The Revolution, which is the one of Anthy. I think it's probably the one of Anthy in, like, the movie. And they go and they find like they're like starting to remember their past a little bit because it seems like they don't have super clear memories of it. The ghost of Akio shows up and is like, if you two do what I say, I'll like will all of my stuff to you. You'll get all that stuff that you want. And they're like, damn, that's cool. And then he disappears because a sword mysteriously stabs him. And they're like, what just happened? And then they both have a dream of back when they were kids and everyone was dying of the plague. And then they find Utena in the coffin. But then Utena, like, instead of being like, doesn't come out of the coffin, kind of declares that she has to go rescue Anthe because they wake up and this is both a dream that they shared based off of their kind of shared memories that they have. They both start talking to each other because they're not in constant talking to each other. And Saionji realizes that Toga is going to buy some art from an artist who is a criminal and a pervert who kidnapped children and abused them. And he's like, I can't believe you're buying art from this guy. Like, what is wrong with you? And Toga's just like, listen, man, this is just how society works. What does he say? Great art has always been birthed from the forbidden, and what counts as criminal is subjective. It shifts and changes with the prevailing opinions of the time. Our job is to find that art which deserves to be preserved for future generations. That's it, nothing more. And then
I'm looking at the free
Saionji's like,
this.
that isn't for art, that's something for money. So they have like a big falling out about how like Toga's still a piece of shit. He's still a cynical asshole who understands the world and decides not to care about it. They get into a fight where they're like transported to the dueling arena because they're fighting each other, and they're like, oh yeah, it's just like when we used to duel in the arena. So they're going at each other again. When all of a sudden Utena shows up. Dios Utena shows up. And they're
okay,
like, oh.
All right, I'm like looking at the art of it. From what I'm able to see, it looks really good. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Yep, so Dios Utena shows up. She's like, those who seek the revolution go back to the academy. And it turns out, and they both wake up because they were in another dream. They find a secret passageway, which leads them to the painting of the revolution they're looking for, which is like the nude Anthe painting. And then the ghost Dio shows up again and like is like, you can't steal my favorite painting, and is about to attack Saionji. Or is about to attack Toga, and Saionji gets him out of the way, and Toga remembers the power of friendship he once had and uses it to kind of does a little sword fight with the ghost of Akio, and by doing so, they like banish him, and the painting goes to, instead of a painting of like Anthe naked, it becomes her wearing the outfit with Utena in the thing now, as the revolution has taken place, changing the two, and this is what the spread looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Now, like, maybe it's in my box.
Now you're like, maybe I really want this now. And the two of them leave as friends, understanding that that's what it means to have the power to revolutionize the world. Even though Toga's is still a huge piece of shit. That's the first one. Pretty good.
You tell.
I like how it looks. Did you find it?
Yeah. No, I don't think mine came with it.
No, it doesn't come with it. You have to order it separate.
Ah.
Second story. It's one about Juri. We get another run at Juri.
Okay. So are these seemingly like based off like, does it seem like it's tied more to what happened in the anime or the manga, or it's like pretty separated from?
It's borrowing from a lot of different stuff, because like Utena appearing again as like the new Dios definitely feels like it's coming from the manga, whereas like some of the stuff that's happening, especially the Juri stuff, feels like it's pulled from the anime because they make her gay again.
Yeah.
They retcon her to being gay again. Let's go. Maybe she's just bi.
Okay. Is it with the damn chick?
Shiori's here.
Oh, God.
All right, so in modern day, whatever, Juri's just an Olympic fencer. She's just good at fencing. That's what she does.
Or she's got these thigh-high lace-up boots. She's looking fly
She's looking
as hell.
hot. She's also a model. She's in a tournament, and like she's going for the finals, and they're like, oh, she's gonna win this, but then the other person seems to be really good, and then the lights go out, and the other person pulls out their mask, and it's Ruka again, and she's like, fuck, dude, what? But then they leave, and she's like, why was I fighting a guy? And like, I think it's Mickey who's also there, is like, you were fighting a woman, dude. She's like, okay. We get some good spreads of her like being a fashionista,
Yes.
Really solid stuff.
So good.
That's good. Because that's what she does. She decides that she's like losing her edge, and the whole thing about Juri is that she always wants to be on top. So she's deciding that she's going to quit fencing. And her manager, who is Shiori, is like, damn, well, I guess it's the time I say this. I was actually going to drop you and get a new client, and it's Ruka.
Damn. Oh, Lord.
And she's like, Shiori, how could you do this to me? You can't do him. He's terrible. And she freaks out. And then we get a whole thing where she's like, oh, my whole time in school, I was in love with you. That one time I was in love with Toga? Toga who? I'm kidding. I was gay the whole time. If anybody asks.
Set the record straight.
Set the record straight that she got into fencing because Shiori thought fencers were cool because they look like elegant princes. So she learned how to fence. And we get some pretty good scenes of like Juri as kind of like an awkward, like middle schooler. And she like, it's cool. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
They like have her grow up. It's pretty good. Has the whole locket thing, but she's not as good at fencing as Ruka is, and Ruka is like finds out that she likes Shiori and like kind of hangs that over her to like motivate her to get better at fencing because that's what it means to be strong. And she gets really mad at him for doing that. But at the end of the day, he just wants what's best for her because that's the story with Ruka we're sticking to. Anyway, the duel gets put back on. She beats her opponent in the duel. It turns into a duel on the castle thing. She starts doing Ruka at the castle where Shiori is the Rose Bride. It's pretty cool. We get some good scenes. She's about to fucking lose still. I'm like blowing my mic every time I say stuff like that. She like begs for the power of the prince so she can beat him. Dios Utena flies down, and she's like, "Oh, the power to revolutionize the world. It's the way to do it." And she like points to everybody, and like she views herself as a child in the far shore, seeing Shiori fall into the water so she can go save her from drowning. And she saves Shiori from drowning, and falls and starts to drown herself, a la Toga in Adolescence of Utena doing the same thing because she just wants to save Shiori so bad, but she's about to die. But then she's saved by somebody else saving her from drowning, and it's Ruka. And it turns out Ruka's gonna die because he saved her from drowning, who saved Shiori from drowning.
Good lord.
And she's like, why would Ruka do that? And she goes to find Dios Utena in the coffin, and Child Utena is like, oh, Ruka's a prince. I'd never met him before, but he spoke about me. He said he liked and admired you for that, and he wanted to help you, so I gave him this ring. And he also told me this. Lily, the goddess of battle, cut off her right breast so she could draw the most powerful bow. Juri, you are beautiful. Like Lily, you are the goddess of battle. And it turns into Ruka as he's now talking to her. What are we doing? What is this? What is this stuff? Why are we doing this? What does it mean? What does it mean for Juri to have to cut off her right breast to become the most powerful warrior? Is that just a thinly veiled metaphor of like you have to shed your femininity to be strong?
Maybe.
Because it kind of feels that way, even though it doesn't fit anything about Juri, who is a super hot lady who like does stuff for fashion magazines. Don't understand what's going on here. Anyway, it turns out Ruka's a cool guy. He's a prince. Everybody loves him. Ruka's so great.
You know who doesn't love him? Joe. Joe is not into it.
This motivates Juri to win her duel, which it turns out is not against Ruka. It's against a random other woman because she's just in a fencing tournament. She still says she's going to retire, though, because she says that she fought for both to save Ruka. For all these years, I fought for both the sake of Ruka, who saved Ayumi, and because I wanted to be a prince who protected you, Shiori. But no more. From now on, I'll finally understand now. I'll simply enjoy battle. That's all. That's enough for me. And then Shiori's like, I had a dream about Ruka, and he's like, in that dream, he said, thank you for finding me and for watching over me. And then he left. And Juri's like, ugh, Ruka, as the chapter ends. Why did they do this?
Oh.
They made her gay at least. That's one step forward.
Yeah,
They still make
it's a
Ruka
win.
like this great guy. Like this guy we all like. Ruka, the guy we all like. In the anime, pretty clear that he still sucks because he doesn't know how to express himself in a productive way.
Yep.
Even if his heart's in the right place, all of his actions are in the wrong place, and therefore he still sucks.
Yes.
And then we got this last one. I don't even know what to make of this last one. It's Mickey. It's Mickey and
piano.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Here they are sexy on the piano.
Oh.
Drawn in a weird way.
Okay. We did not with the haircut maybe is slightly better, but
yeah. Anyway, they're adults now, and Toga calls Mickey being like, "Hey, I heard you performed at the at the Otori Academy alumni party." And he's like, "No, I didn't." He's like, "Yeah, you played that song you finished." And he's like, "I didn't finish a song. I don't play piano that much." Or like, he's like a piano guy, but he's like, "I don't play that song. I've never finished that song." And he realizes, oh, the only other person it could be is Kozue. But Kozue's been in a coma for years.
Oh, God.
And he's like, what's going on here? And it turns out at night, Kozue wakes up and sleepwalks out of the ward and dresses in Mickey's like performance outfit. And plays piano. And there's a scene where she gets undressed and he looks and it's bad. Because we're still doing weird incest stuff. Anyway, he tries to talk to her, but she's like non-responsive. The lights go out. Utena Dios appears and like explains and is like, what's going on? And like Mickey's like, oh, all this other stuff. But Kozue is the one who starts talking to her because she can talk to Utena, and she kind of explains how she was in love with her brother and tried to kiss him once while he was sleeping, but he didn't like that and shoot her away. So then she tried to shove all those feelings down and went and got married to some random guy. And then one day she comes back to Mickey because her new husband is abusive and sucks, and is like, I did all this stuff trying to run away from you, but I just want you, Mickey. And then tries to kiss him again, but he's still not into it. And so she runs away and falls into a coma.
Okay.
And Mickey's like, damn, that's a crazy story. And he's like, I hate hearing this story. It's so bad. And then Mickey starts getting attacked when the lights go out, and then the lights come back on, and it turns out it's him and Kozue in the dueling arena. They're dueling. He's like, what's going on? And they express themselves through dueling about their complicated feelings for each other and how they refuse to acknowledge it because it's a bad thing. So they just ignore all their problems instead. And then Dios Utena shows up and is like, you can't stop running from the truth of reality of things. You need to just work it out. And so Mickey's like, yeah. And then they go into another flashback where they both lost their parents, and that gave them lots of trauma, and that's why they're trauma bonded as children. And then they snap back to reality, and Mickey is like, and Kozue wakes up, and Mickey's like, listen, I know I've been mean to you, but we should just work it out together. And she's like, oh, but isn't this like weird and incesty? And he's like, listen, don't worry about it. We'll just have to figure it out as we go along, because that's all you can do. And they start playing piano, and the ghost of Utena walks along the piano keys to go to find Anthe, and then pulls her from the little barbed thing that we see her in that one episode where she's hung up by a bunch of barbs. And that's the end of it. And they hug each other because they've become symbols now. Utena saving Anthe has become symbols for like recognizing and moving forward in your life. And then there's an afterword where Saito gives a comic about how she basically the editorial department is like, oh, we should do something for like the 20th anniversary of Utena. And she's like, man, I don't know, maybe I could do like 10 pages or something. And they're like, you should do a whole volume. And she's like, man, I'm really busy, I don't know if I want to do a whole volume. And they're like, nah, man, we'll think it'll be great. So they basically made her do this full volume. And then
dang,
she's like, I don't really know what to do, and also I don't really know how to do these character designs. And the whole thing is about how basically the editor just like forced her to do all this stuff. And then she's like, at the end, she's like, so at the end of the long process of trial and error, we created these 3 short stories. I would be so happy if you found them at least a little entertaining. Like, she's almost apologizing for writing this. It's so I mean, I know it's not what she's doing, but it's so funny that it's framed that way at the very end. She's like, listen, man, I don't know.
Is there any? I would be interested to see like the demeanor in any kind of like video interview if
I
there's
know.
anything like that
All
out
of
there.
her animated shorts, like little things about herself, always makes her seem like she's like so put upon for everything.
Yeah. I feel like when authors do that, like when they kind of like the Kadocha author Mio Obana, she's like this weird little gremlin person in the animes. Like or in
Yeah.
the manga. She just puts herself as like a little troll person. It's really funny. But it does just seem to overall be a very stressful thing, and so some of them cope with it through humor. Um, but yeah, it's fun that I feel like you don't get to know the personality of the manga artist that much, so it's nice when they can do a little thing there.
Yeah, I just thought that was really funny to be at the end and being like, listen, I made these things. Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. You be the judge. I just had to make them.
Yeah.
I'm writing.
Yeah.
I'm writing another thing at the same time. I'm so busy.
That was good.
Oh, so funny.
All right. Okay. Utena manga. We did it.
That was so long. I'm sorry that was so
Joe,
long.
you did it. For the most part.
I hope this was a fun episode to listen to if you've made it all the way. I mean, I guess if it wasn't, you've already stopped listening. So the only people that would like this episode are people that made it this far. We got to think of a better way to do this for Rose of Versailles. I can't recap 5 books.
Oh yeah.
We may have to split it into chunks.
Yeah. Well, I think the Revolutionary Girl Utena has turned out to be, I think, like the way a lot of new listeners have found us. So I think it's good to like fully explore it. Because yeah, it seems to be something people really care about, and obviously it's not like it's reiterating the same stuff. So, and you're very passionate about it, so I think people will enjoy it. Sorry, I've been like a little mentally subdued.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, for you read
we just
it all
did
today,
back-to-back records,
and then you're listening to me recap
too.
it very poorly for like an hour.
But I made it. We did it.
Did you have any thoughts about the thing I think is weird? Let me say so one thing.
Yes.
For the two manga I've read for this show, in both cases, it's been like the opposite of the regular experience, which is most of the time when you adapt to manga, the manga is bigger and you take stuff out. In both of these cases, the manga is smaller and they put more stuff in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's the same thing with Angelic Layer. So I'm very much just like, dang, everybody always tells me I should read the manga for stuff. And every time I read manga for other things, it's usually pretty good. And these 2 instances, not really.
Yeah. That is an interesting thing. I mean, I feel like maybe there's just more cases of that than you realize. Like, Samurai Champloo is only 2 volumes long, and so the majority of the anime for that is just made for the series. But like, and I guess it's another very stylized one. I feel like Angelic Layer isn't necessarily super stylized; it's pretty straightforward. But like, Utena and Samurai Champloo, I feel like are both very like, style. Strong, so that's where they're messing with the
but they're also more
stuff.
They're also more episodic, right? Like, isn't Samurai Champloo? Do they do the thing where they give different directors different episodes to direct?
I'm not sure, but yes, there is a lot of like standalone episodes where it isn't like progressing the plot. It's just more like, oh, these characters are really cool. We want to see them do stuff together. So there's like an episode where they're playing freaking baseball, It's like, and this is like feudal Japan or what. Yeah.
I feel like there's been a lot. This is the thing though. And like, I feel like there's been a trend of like, oh, we're going to do anime or manga adaptations, but we're going to be faithful to it as if that's a good thing. And I'm like, it's not always a good thing. Sometimes it's more fun if you have like an adaptation take you want to make about it.
Well, the most popular example of that is Full Metal Alchemist. Did you watch both the original anime series and what did you think of that?
Well, I mean, I like Brotherhood better because it's like that's the story. But that's only because it like goes off. It tries to invent stuff because it got ahead of its skis, right? Like it got ahead of the publication.
Not that it like started off wanting to be different.
Yeah, like that's not a vision. The thing is, like, you can have different visions.
Basically, and then Game of Thrones is like the Western version of that. Full Metal Alchemist original. Where it's
Yes.
like it got ahead and then it just tanked.
Yeah, we can all see how that went.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Well, it's time to wrap our first bonus episode
In a while.
since Adolescence of Utena.
That was not a bonus episode. That was a regular one.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, this is bonus.
Well, we're going to be doing more bonuses. It's going to take me a while, listener, to figure out. We may do a couple of episodes for the Rose of Versailles manga, just because, oh my god, imagine if I had to, like, I can't. This was not a great summary. I was not super happy with how the summary came out. So I'll have to actually formally write something for that. So I'll figure out how to do that. But that's another thing we have in the tank. You know, reading the manga is other things we can do. There's other like related stuff. I think I'm going to show Sarah, having her made me watch all those Jurassic Park stuff. We still have the Jurassic Park television's children's show to watch because I love children's shows.
Oh, Camp Cretaceous.
So
yeah,
we have a couple things in the pipeline,
and we still got KOTOR too.
Whenever we wrap that, yeah.
So more stuff, but yeah, Fushigi Yugi. Make sure you check out that, which probably dropped before this. Well, it's
definitely. 100%. I'm not editing this tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
Yep. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed. If there's more stuff you'd like to hear us cover in a bonus, because I have seen we're starting to get some more requests coming in comments on Spotify. Some of which are like, oh, you guys should cover Boys Over Flowers, which is another like classic shoujo anime series. So that's definitely something, and it's older, which we like. That one's like I feel like trash men everywhere.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so that might be entertaining to cover. So, and that also has like K-drama adaptations.
I think that one is the number one shoujo manga seller on the Wikipedia list. Yeah,
oh, really? Okay, I've only watched the anime.
That's where I recognize it from.
It's very popular. Yeah. So that's like definitely on the list. And then I've seen like, oh, I'd like to hear you guys cover something like Violet Evergarden, which is not a shoujo, but like, you know, stuff like that. If you're like, I want to hear your guys' coverage of something, be sure to let us know in comments or our email, shoujopod@gmail.com, so we can add those to our list of, we'll get to it eventually.
Yep.
Yeah. Rate and review, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we don't have to say it on bonus episodes. It's a bonus.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
We don't have to learn anything either, which I didn't.
But do whatever. Then good. Because I'm like, I learned back-to-back recordings are not great for getting anything out of me.
What I really learned is that you should always buy the nice prints of manga, because you get all this nice stuff. Like the lettering is really like solid, and you get like the little print poster stuff. I'm showing it to you like you don't own this book.
I know. I guess I did get my Naked Ladies poster. I did get the little Utena and Anthe sprawled nude poster, so that's on my wall now.
Yep. So you should always buy the nice version of manga. Never, it's like, oh, buy the page. Like, just really, like, I don't know. Just wait till it comes out in a box set or like a special edition. Usually worth it.
I am trying to do that. Yes. All right. We've got the Red River anime coming out soon. I've decided that I'm going to be collecting the omnibus. And so I'm giving my individual volumes that I never finished to my sister for her birthday. So I spent money.
Yeah.
It was money for me.
It's money.
But she gets to have it now. Worth a lot.
All right.
But yeah. Okay,
like
everybody.
3 hours of talking.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Night. Signing off. I guess, I don't know. Our mates, Vanderpump Rules, they have a DJ guy who's on the main cast, and he fucking sucks, so.
Okay, that's,
Which I didn't announce on my recap that I finished it, and I saw, and I witnessed Scandival.
You witnessed Scandal? What does that mean?
Scandival. There's this guy
Scandival?
named Tom Sandoval, and they cheated on his partner with her best friend, and so they called it Scandival. It's like Scandal and Sandoval.
Oh, that's cute.
Name. Yeah. Apparently it was like crazy and consumed the internet at the time.
Oh, this guy does not. I don't like his facial hair.
Oh, is it the mustache or whatever?
It's like the mustache.
In his villain era right now, for sure.
That's kind of funny. I'll just put this at the end of the episode.
Okay, sounds good.